I'm going to go through 5 pitfalls of regulatory non-compliance. The first one being underestimating the time and resource required for delivering a regulatory submission, lack of technical knowledge and expertise, taking an ad hoc approach to compliance, assuming the supply chain is compliant, and failure to keep track of legislation updates. So I will kind of go through these and give some case studies and examples of how these can be avoided. So let's start with the first one. So Alex has already introduced quite a bit what's necessary for making a regulatory submission in various different places in the world. So I have here as an example the REACH testing requirements. So these numbers here just signify how many tests are required to make a dossier for REACH, and at the bottom the total cost, the potential total cost, because it doesn't always cost that much, but it can cost quite a lot. So you can see that even for the lower tonnages, quite a lot of tests are already required. And I think a lot of people who are quite unfamiliar with REACH will think that, oh, we'll just fill in a few forms, get a stamp, and off we go. But it's not really like that. You have to take a good long time, and the most common pitfall is people just leave it too late. We had so many people coming to us at the very, very last moment, and there was no way they could get it in on time for the deadline. And really, very much linked to that is the issue of lack of technical knowledge and expertise. It is very, very rare that companies have all the expertise available, even the big ones. This is a list of the types of expertise you might need for regulatory compliance. Well, you won't need all of them, but you would need at least half a dozen of these. And it's very rare that a company has all of that in-house. Even the larger companies, they probably have some people who project manage and they just buy in the resource. So it really makes sense to buy in that expertise. And in Jordas, we've really helped people make enormous cost savings. So the next pitfall is taking an ad hoc approach to compliance. So companies tend to be quite reactive. They just deal with compliance issues as and when they pop up. But that actually, can have some negative effects. It can put you at greater risk of non-compliance, but it also can lead to duplication of work. It's very inefficient, and it consumes more time and resource. And it also weakens your due diligence position. So if you get an inspection, for example, they can't look at everything you do. So what they'll be looking for is if you have any systems in place. And if you haven't got any systems in place, and you are found to be non-compliant in some areas, then they think, well, probably the rest will also be non-compliant. But if you have good systems in place, then they think, oh, this must be an anomaly. So pitfall number 4, assuming the supply chain is compliant. Supply chains are increasingly global, and they're also really complex. Really, they look a little bit more like this. And so there's a lot of issues with lack of awareness, because people being in different countries, loss of information along the way, and there's also a big issue, as I had already said before, with CBI. So for example, if you've got a formulation, there might be 3 ingredients that are not declared on the safety data sheet. You get your safety data sheet, you think, oh great, I know what's in it. This is my recipe, and this is what I use to work out whether it's compliant or not, which chemicals are in it. But because some of the ingredients are not declared, you actually don't know what's in it, and you might be at risk of non-compliance. And the same, of course, with these complex finished products. And then the final pitfall is failure to keep track of legislation updates. So when I prepared for this, I did a bit of a dig around in our software, Jorda's Hive. And these are this is a cumulative number of substance updates globally since 2012 in our software. So there have been about 45,000 occasions of a substance in a particular regulation having their requirements updated somehow. Okay, so that was it for me for today. I hope that was useful.